on the first pitch and then threw 5 shutout with not his best stuff. What?
Would have made it.
That's right. He's not playing semi-pro. He's playing in the big leagues.
At the very end of the season, Shohei is not only going to give you the goods, but he's also going to do it on both sides of the ball. And I don't think I don't know if we'll ever see this sort of greatness.
I don't think we'll ever see it again, to be honest with you. It takes so much time and effort to be good at one thing. And for him to be good at 2 things at the highest level is just unimaginable.
現在、MLB に関わる誰もが同じことを口にしています。やっぱり大谷は別格だ。打っては MLB 屈指のスラッガーとして相手投手を怯えさせ、投げてはエース級の一人として三振の山を築く。しかも、同じ選手が同じシーズンに成し遂げている。ベーブ・ルース以来、誰も実現できなかったことを、大谷選手は当たり前のようにやってのけているのです。ということで今回の動画では、2026年シーズン前半戦、全米のファン、そして球界そのものを揺るがした大谷選手のリアル二刀流の中から、特に衝撃度の高かった試合をランキング形式でご紹介していきます。それぞれの試合で何が起きて、周りの人間たちが何を感じたのか、一緒に見ていきましょ
う。4位、7回4失点の誤算。それでも魂の一撃で意地を見せた夜。
6月11日、敵地ピッツバーグでのパイレーツ戦、大谷選手は1番投手兼 DH として先発しました。4回、パイレーツの若手外野手タイラー・カリハン選手に157キロの直球を捉えられ、ソロ本塁打を献上。それでも粘り強く投げ続け、6回まではリードを保っていましたが、7回、無視1、2塁のピンチから連続三振を奪うも、続く打者に右翼線への2点敵地2塁打を浴び、6対3まで追い上げられたところで降板。7回途中、6安打4失点、自責3という今季ワーストの内容でした。ここまで規定投球回に到達すれば防御率1点台という条件でしたが、あと1試及ばずでした。そして試合は、大谷選手の降板後にさらに荒れました。8回、リリーフ陣が乱れる中、そのカリハン選手がこの日2本目となる本塁打を放って一気に勝ち越し、さらにその後も本塁打を許して、ドジャースは逆転負けとなり、大谷選手の勝利の権利は消滅しました。それでも大谷選手は、9回、1点差を追う場面で相手守護神から意地の12号ツーランを放ち、最後まで戦う姿を見せています。では、この試合を指揮していたパイレーツのドン・ケリー監督と、この夜2本塁打4打点と大暴れしたタイラー・カリハン選手の言葉をご覧ください。
Jones struck out Ohtani, Mujinski struck out Ohtani, Reynolds robbed him of a home run. Yet at the very end, he puts that game as close as he did. What's it like to face a guy who can be just as instrumental on the mound as he is at the plate?
You're not going to face too many guys like that. There's one, and it's ridiculous what he's able to do, and just the effortlessness to even the swing that Reynolds brought back, and then the last one in the 9th inning. It's just pure, and it's that's a hard part of the park to go at PNC, and it looked pretty effortless for him to get it out there. Anytime that he steps to the plate, it's like he's in scoring position just with as much power as he has.
Do you think that brought out the best in your team, though, like wanting to upstage him a little bit tonight?
I don't know. I think we talk about it with the Dodgers, and I think that we've done a pretty good job, regardless of who we played this year, to prepare and go out and compete. Having played, I think that there always is a little bit extra that you get, but you don't want it to be big swings like that, because then you start trying to do too much, and you walk the guy, or you get outside the zone, and something leaks back over. I think that our guys have done a really good job of staying in the moment, staying in the at-bats, executing the pitches that they needed to execute.
Come in here and celebrate after that. Give us a little bit of a glimpse of how cool it was to celebrate with your teammates after that win.
That was more fun than rounding the bases, for sure. Coming in here and getting all the boys hyped, nothing's better.
Take us through that first homer. What did you feel on that? Because obviously you knew it off the bat, and there aren't many better pitchers to hit the first one off of.
Yeah, I kind of saw what he'd been trying to do to the other lefties, throwing that fastball down a lot, and I knew if I could get one just a little bit elevated, I had a shot. So that was my game plan going into the second at bat.
Todd, there's been a lot of negative emotions. There's been some tough games. Did you hit, as they're just watching that ball sail out, can you just give us your emotion as you're going around and you get into that dugout?
Yeah, obviously I was excited. sounds cliche, but nothing new. It's the same game. He's a really good pitcher, and I'm grateful I got the opportunity to face him. But yeah, it was amazing.
対戦相手の指揮官が馬鹿げているくらいすごいと評した投打。そして自身のキャリアを変える一発を放ちながらも謙虚さを崩さなかった25歳の若手選手。勝敗を分けたのはブルペン陣の乱調でしたが、この夜もまた大谷選手というたった一人の存在が相手チームの記憶に一生残るような試合を作り出していたのです。
3位、3失点のピンチを自分の一打で帳消しにした二刀流。
6月25日、敵地ミネアポリスのターゲットフィールドでのツインズ戦。大谷選手は初回から160キロ超えを連発し、上々の立ち上がりを見せましたが、2回にホイッツ絡みで3失点。1点差まで追い上げられる苦しい展開となります。それでも大谷選手は自らのバットで反撃しました。3回、無四二塁の場面でツインズのエースライアン投手の砲塔ナックルカーブをセンター前へ弾き返す敵地打。この一打が同点、そしてチームの逆転勝ちへの流れを作りました。3回以降は1安打無失点で切り抜け、最終的には6回89球を投げて5安打3失点、自責に8奪三振、2四球という内容で今季8勝目。速球の平均球速は 99.8 マイル、約 160.6 キロ。100マイル超えは今季最多となる16球を記録しています。打者としても5打数2安打1打点。ドジャースは4対3で勝利し、このカードを3連戦スイープしました。それではツインズの指揮官デレク・シェルトン監督の言葉をご覧ください。
Derek, you guys had some chances, 2-on in the 7th and 8th, and a chance there in the 9th. How much can you appreciate the fight, but tough to see the opportunities next?
Yeah, we didn't cash in on the opportunities. I mean, we had an opportunity earlier in the game on a ball Kreidler hit that Mookie made a really nice play on up the middle. That ball gets through. We take the lead. We had some opportunities. They just executed pitches.
What did you see from Joe? Obviously, there really comes down to that third inning, but what did you see in terms of adjusting to make sure it didn't snowball after that?
Yeah, I mean, he did. I mean, what do you have? 9 punch outs, 10 punch outs, did a good job. He had, the one inning that kind of got away from him a little bit. And, you got to give their hitters credit too. That's a really potent lineup. And, the one inning ended up being the determining factor in the game because we held them at bay and they did a good job, holding us at bay.
What was the challenge of facing Shohei after the 3-run second inning?
I mean, the stuff ticked up. I mean, I think you see why he's one of the best pitchers in the game because we got the 3 runs off him and it was almost like he took his stuff to a different level.
How much of the difference in this is just some of the plays they made on defense?
Yeah. I mean, and it's funny because over the last couple of days having conversations with Doc, that's exactly what he said to me. He's like, we're doing a really good job defensively. And I think that was the determining factor, not that we didn't make plays defensively, just we hit some balls that they ended up catching. And I'm good. I mean, I think you go back to the 2 plays that Mookie made that kind of changed the outcome of the game.
I know last night, what can you take away from the 2 Monday and tonight?
Yeah, I mean, last night we didn't play well. But I mean, we lost 2-1 and 4-3, and we pitched well. We played defense well. We didn't get the big hit when we needed it. Some of it came down to the way they played defense. But I was proud of our group. I mean, we went out and battled against the best team in baseball.
You put any stock into kind of how the bottom of the lineup's been performing over the last week or so?
Yeah, I put a ton of stock into it. I mean, I think as we've talked about, the function of our lineup is 1 through 9. It's not just one single person.
This obviously meant a lot to the fans. They stuffed the stadium tonight. Does it mean something to the players when you have 2 stars like this going?
Yeah, I think when you have 2 top-line starters, I mean, anytime you face a guy like Ohtani, I think your group gets up for it. And, it was a good baseball game. And both guys pitched well.
いかがでしたか？この活躍は元メジャーリーガーたちの間でも話題になっていました。殿堂入り候補と目される名二塁手、チェイス・アトリー氏とヤンキースのエースとして君臨した CC サバシア氏の言葉をご覧ください。
Shohei Ohtani, I mean, it's hard to even know where to begin with a guy like him. First off, I mean, you look from an offensive perspective. He's, top 2, 3, offensive threats in all of baseball, if not the most offensive threat. Teams fear him. He has the ability to hit any pitch really over the fence. The fact that he's one of the fastest players on the field as well is remarkable. So that's one aspect. There's a hitter of Shohei, top 3 hitter in all of baseball. And then you go, wait a second, he can also pitch. He's a number 1 starter on, the best team in baseball. And he's a top, 3-5 pitcher in baseball. We've never seen it before. Maybe Babe Ruth, but hard to say. I don't think we'll ever see it again, to be honest with you. It takes so much time and effort to be good at one thing. And for him to be good at two things at the highest level is just unimaginable. And also, to throw on the top that he's the most famous star in Japan, right? And we know how fanatical the fans are, especially in Japan. He doesn't have any downtime. He's always has to be on. Always has to be on, and he's got so much to do. Now that I'm around a little bit, you just see how much he does on a daily basis. Sometimes he's in the cage, and then he's going to do his pitching work. Like there's a lot of moving parts in his world, and he's able to figure them all out and have immense success. So I don't see another player being like him ever.
Ohtani's had the surgery and he's had a procedure, but I wonder how many imitators is he going to create in 5 years, 10 years that we do let somebody hit and pitch if they're like Skeens was a great hitter in Air Force Academy. He was a power hitter. I'm surprised that the Pirates wouldn't say, hey, why don't we get this novelty with Skeens and get him out there more often.
Absolutely. Or even Jack Caglione, right? Like he went to Florida. He's a first rounder for Kansas City. He can do both. But even like there's always guys that can do both, right? I heard Dave Winfield was a great pitcher in college and, was able to kind of do both. I would have thought by now it would be way more guys, with at least the opportunity to hit and pitch. But even just seeing how good Caglione was in college doing both and then them just kind of turning him into a hitter seems like, it is just, this one-off where Shohei's, the greatest baseball player of all time, and he's the only one that gets to, can do it on this level. So, hopefully there are more guys that can do this. I don't think anybody's going to be able to do it on the level that he's doing it, but there's definitely guys that can, do both.
Wait, you think he's going to be the greatest player of all time?
I think he already is.
The greatest of all time?
Who's better?
Well, Babe did. He won 92 games as a starter, and then you hit 714 home runs.
Yeah, that was a different time, though. Now he's playing in an era where this is the biggest, fastest, strongest era that we've ever seen. And he's the fastest, he's the biggest, he's the best. You combine them, he's one of the best hitters in the league, and he's one of the best pitchers in the league. And to be able to do it in this era, I think, my GOAT to me is Barry Bonds. Like I'll never, he's always number one, but Barry can't go out and throw 7 shutout innings.
対戦した指揮官の実感、そして殿堂級の名選手たちが語る史上最高論。ベーブ・ルースの名前を引き合いに出しながらも、最終的には誰もが同じ結論に行き着きます。時代を超えた比較は難しくても、今この瞬間、目の前で起きていることが特別だという一点では、誰の意見も一致していました。
2位、先頭打者本塁打&5回無失点の衝撃。
5月21日、敵地サンディエゴでのパドレス戦、大谷選手はこの試合、1番投手兼 DH として先発出場しました。迎えた初回、自らの登板前の第1打席で初球を捉え、先頭打者本塁打、今季8号となる一発でしたが、それ以上に特筆すべきは、レギュラーシーズンでの先発投手による初回先頭打者弾という MLB 史上初めての快挙だったということです。打者としてだけでなく、投手としてもこの日の大谷選手は圧巻でした。5回を投げて3安打無失点、4奪三振、最速は 100.2 マイル、約 161.2 キロを計測し、打者一巡をパーフェクトに抑える場面もありました。球数がかさみ、規定投球回にはあと1イニング届きませんでしたが、防御率はここまでで異次元ともいえる 0.73 にまで下がっていたのです。それではこの試合を指揮していた両軍の監督の言葉から見ていきましょう。
I thought it was a little bit of a grind in the sense that I don't think he felt his best. I think in that third or fourth inning you can see kind of him putting the governor on his fastball and just managing it and then reaching back for more when he needed to. So I don't think he had his best stuff tonight, but he found a way to get big outs when he needed to. Got that fielder's choice, holding on to third base right there. Got a big double play. So yeah, it was good, and 5 innings. The pitch count got up there, and I felt that was all he had to do.
When he hands it off to the bullpen, who's been as excellent as they are right now, just how do you kind of describe what the group has been able to do, not only in this series, but really in the last week of games?
They stepped up. They came up big, and obviously, not having Diaz here, guys are kind of in different roles, and they've responded really well. It's a tough place to pitch as far as this environment, but they all responded well, and they did a great job preventing runs.
What did you mean by him not feeling his best? Was it not feeling best with the way the pitches were coming out of his hand, or was he maybe not feeling great physically?
I think today, I don't know. I just kind of, just saw the overall body. It just didn't seem like he had as much, reserve or stuff to work with today. So I really can't pinpoint it, but he just wasn't letting it rip as early for as long and consistently as we've seen in other outings. But he still has a way to use other pitches, sequence, and still get guys out.
Had you ever seen that type of emotion from him in a while off the mound when you got Tatis to ground into that double play?
I haven't. It's we wanted this series. They wanted this series, and it was a big spot, and it was probably going to be his last hitter, and so it was starting to get kind of, it was starting to kind of grind a little bit more in that inning, and I wasn't going to push him much past that. So I think that getting that double play right there was big, and it was good to see him show some emotion.
Dave, going back to how, going back to how Shohei was maybe didn't have as much coming out or was as efficient as we've seen. How much of that do you think plays into just balancing the two-way duties?
I think it's just another case in point that it's a it's good for us to be mindful of the workload and just not take that for granted. So but again, he's still pretty special and got through it.
How important is it, on these nights where he's playing both ways, for him to kind of make the impact he did with the bat at the start of the game to kind of set the tone there?
It was good. It was good. To start this series, and I think they have their staff ace going. We had Shohei, and then at kind of the twilight where it's typically hard to see, for him to start off with a homer, I think put them behind the 8 ball a little bit, and then allow us to score again in the second inning. And they were playing catch up all night, and we left some runs out there, but still scored enough and prevented it up tonight. But it started with Shohei's homer.
You've talked about kind of the difference between him as a hitter and a pitcher. Do you think that being able to do both and leading off with a homer makes him kind of feel more like in control when he's out there?
I think a little bit. I think that he likes to contribute, and I know that he's heard about on days that he pitches or days after he pitches. So for him to homer in that first at bat, I think he was like, okay, I contributed on the offensive side, and then you look at the following at bats. He took some good at bats tonight, and so I think this off day tomorrow is coming at a perfect time, and we'll see when we pencil him in next. But leading off with a homer, I think got him in a good place mentally.
How much do you think he kind of hears like the outside noise when he is struggling, and like the questions come up about the toll the two-way role might be taking? Like, are there ways you sense kind of how he internalizes that?
Yeah, I think that he's very mindful of everything that's said about him, and I think that at times he uses that as motivation to prove people wrong, that he can do something. I think he's certainly aware of all of it.
Do you think some of that kind of leads into like just the reactions on the mound too, especially just like with the pitching this year and him getting back to that and trying to reestablish himself as like one of the best pitchers in the game? Like, do you feel like that kind of feeds into those moments too when you can get out of those kind of spots?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think even, we were up 3-0, and instead of taking the double play ball, he wanted to make sure that he preserved that run, and like we all know, he wants to win that Cy Young, and he wants to help us win games, and he wants to be a really productive offensive player. So at this point in time, he's doing all the above.
would you describe the challenge of facing Ohtani and the Dodgers bullpen tonight?
Yeah, good pitchers. We knew we were in for a test. It's always fun battling against the best. We battled as tough as we could and came out on the short end of the stick.
How did you process the team's inability to scratch runs across when you did have opportunities tonight?
Yeah, you're right. We had some opportunities. We definitely had some opportunities to break it open and a couple double plays, hit that in the bud. So, we got to come up with a hit in that situation or a good at bat, and we just weren't able to tonight.
You've been pretty adamant that it's May and the standings don't matter and the opponent and all that, but is there anything you took out of this series, or what did you? The two really good games and the kind of one that wasn't so.
Yeah, I thought tonight was a good ball game. You take out all the double plays, and I think we would have had a chance. To me, it was closer than what the score indicated. They were able to push, first inning home run on the first pitch of the game. It's something really as a pitcher you can't control. You're going to throw a strike on the first pitch, and he did something with it. Randy kind of limited the damage in the other innings to keep us in the game, and then another solo home run at the end. And we had, bases loaded, nobody out. Bases first and third, nobody out, and then bases loaded, 1 out. And we had another chance to score. So, a hit here and there in that game is a lot different. So I think it was 3 close games. They're going to battle us. We're going to battle them. It's going to be a lot of fun for the rest of the season.
いかがでしたか？この日の活躍は全米の人気番組でも取り上げられていました。元メジャーリーガーのジェイク・ピービー氏とマーク・デローサ氏の言葉を続けてご覧ください。
And what do we have here? Lowest ERA in the first 8 starts of the season in the live ball era, Jake Peavy and D-Row. And Dave Roberts said he took him out after 5 because he was grinding a little bit. He looked pretty darn good to me. How has he taken his pitching to the next level this year, Jake? What do you see?
Well, I see a guy that can get through not having his best stuff. And we're just going to really dive in and just go through the outs, D-Row.
30 starts. How many starts you have your best stuff?
Well, I think it goes about like this. The saying's normally about 5 starts, you go out there and it's all together. You don't really think and you dominate. About 5, you don't have it. And they're supposed to be clunkers. Last night was kind of one of those things. The other 20 of your starts, you figure it out and they make or break you. You're going to go to the tape and we'll start it. Just Shohei's the best we've ever seen. But how do you manage your bad nights? In a bad night,
you hit a bomb.
That's exactly right.
But we're not 12 anymore.
Bruce Bochy used to always say, can't you throw a shutout and hit a homer, Pete? To watch him start the game, but just watch the pitch execution. This is 3-2 to both guys. So long at bats, but he does not give in, and he's on point. Gavin Sheets is hotter than anybody, blows him away. 3-1 again, behind the count, staying with the fastball, and look at the swings. 2-1. That's a hitter's count.
He paints that heater away. He's got the sweeper moving to the left against the righties, and then that nasty split against the lefties.
Using the ballpark, there's a 4-seamer again. It's on the black. There's a sinker. 3-2. Wants that one back. Freddie Fermin would like to swing at it. Take a better swing at that. Now watch this. Stop the tape real fast right here. This is where it starts to get interesting.
Yeah.
It's the 4th inning. He's starting to get up in 70-ish pitch range. You can start it right here. Hell of a play by Freddie Freeman. But just watch him mitigate this trouble right here. 2-1. Man, that's where the game could have got away right there. Manny wants that pitch back. But he gets out of the 4th. And now to the 5th, you're in big trouble right here.
Yeah.
I'm talking about big trouble. Bryce Johnson just does enough coming in the game for Merrill to get on. It's a great piece of 2-strike hitting by Nick Castellanos. 1st and 3rd, nobody out, and you've got a 3-run lead. We're gonna watch this again, right?
Check it back. I didn't say throw to second. How many guys would have checked him back and thrown a second instead of take the out at first?
This gets him out of it right here. Back that tape up and back that tape up to where he makes the play. It's 1st and 3rd, nobody out, and you've got a 3-run lead. Watch that. I think after the mound visit right there.
Yeah.
Mound visit went something like this. Look, he's going to be aggressive. Let's make a pitch right off the corner of the plate. See if we can get him to chase our pitch, and that's exactly what happened. You see,
kind of hasn't changed. Yeah, the sweeper's become more of a weapon for him, but he's not too different. I think the thing he can overpower you from what I'm watching. He can overpower you with a four-seam heater, like straight heater. I know we threw the sinker in there too, but the different variations of that, it's almost like a cutter, it's his slider, it's his sweep. He's got like 3 variations of his breaking ball that make it tough.
That's right.
For the right-hander.
The sweeper last night, 0 for 6. You saw a couple of them. Freddie Fermin, Manny Machado were going to go back and think they should have hit those balls out of the ballpark. But other than that, it was executed. For me, it's the 2 different fastballs as well, D-Row. When you start thinking about the four-seamer, you saw it, and then the sinker. Let's just go back and talk about when he was in trouble. First pitch to Laureano, got the sinker. What an athlete. We talk about him on the mound. That athleticism of him catching that ball, checking the runner, wherewithal, turning around, throwing it to second. That athleticism, first pitch sinker, and then the first pitch to Tatis, slider. You get out of big trouble. First and third, nobody out. Hold on to a 3-run lead. Shohei Ohtani, even on his bad days, you just saw right there.
There's guys that'll happen. It'll happen today. Bellied up to some sports bar, telling everybody how great they were at 12 years old, hitting homers and throwing no-hitters.
Yeah.
Except
this dude exists
right now.
He can play shortstop. Did you see him catch that ball and turn around and play with it?
He went deep on the first pitch and then threw 5 shutout with not his best stuff. What?
Would have made it.
That's right. He's not playing semi-pro. He's playing in the big leagues.
指揮官の証言、対戦相手の実感、解説者の緻密な分析、立場が違えば見え方も変わりますが、行き着く先はいつも同じ。やっぱり大谷は別格だということです。
1位、日本人対決の舞台で見せつけた規格外の二刀流。
5月28日、本拠地ドジャースタジアムでのロッキーズ戦。この試合も大谷選手は1番投手として先発しました。相手先発は同じ日本出身の菅野智之投手でした。初回、大谷選手はその菅野投手のフォーシームを捉え、センターへ今季9号の先頭打者本塁打。飛距離424フィート、打球速度は 111.3 マイルという特大の一撃でした。登板試合で2試合連続先頭打者アーチという偉業も達成しています。そして投げては4回に四球絡みで1点を失ったものの、6回を無安打、7奪三振で切り抜けたのです。それでは指揮官デーブ・ロバーツ監督と同じドジャースの若手投手であるカイル・ハート投手の言葉をご覧ください。
The pitching today, we've talked at length of just how good the group has been. But when you have a guy like Shohei Ohtani who sets the tone, but is grinding through the outing, but still finds a way to get through 6, ultimately does throw a no-hitter through 6, how do you kind of just put towards us what he was able to do today?
Compete. I think you saw that in that Tovar at bat where he gave up a run, and then Will had the visit, and then he came out there and just dominated Tovar in that at bat. Tonight against the Padres, it just, for me, the fastball command wasn't there. And, at times when it gets stressful, he makes pitches when he needs to, but then there's some kind of uncharacteristic walks in there and getting into bad counts. But when it gets stressful, he makes pitches when he needs to. But I think tonight it was just, the fastball command he just didn't feel good with.
What do you think allows Shohei to have the results he does even when command isn't good? Is it the simplest stuff, or is there anything more that goes into it?
I think certainly the velocity helps. So, even when he gets in bad counts, he can get Goodman to fly out twice. The sweeper, when he still just got enough stuff to make hitters uncomfortable and can use the curveball to slow him down, can use the sweeper to go right to left. And again, once he gets guys into scoring position, he really bears down and the command seems to come to life. But this guy is just a crazy good competitor.
Have you ever seen a pitcher so dissatisfied with 6 no-hit innings?
Guy that wore number 22 that we remember, very similar.
Does that just kind of speak to even like the standards he has for himself when he's out on the mound?
Yeah, exactly. And I think, the great ones, you look at 6 innings, no-hit ball, that could have been 7 or 8, so, but that's what makes guys like that special.
It seemed like he was kind of talking to himself a lot. Do you know what his favorite curse word in English is?
I do. I do. That's what I do. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to protect him on that one.
I think we all know now.
There you go.
How much did the thought of a no-hitter, you got pretty close there, did that start to circulate through the bench?
I guess, but I was just trying to win the game. Tanner gave up a blocked base hit. So we pitched well. We pitched really well, and it would have been nice. I think the last one we had was in Mexico in 16, bullpen no-hitter against the Padres. But it would have been nice, but we'll take the win.
Where do you see Ohtani offensively right now?
I like where he's at. I think that tonight, I don't think he, after the homer, he's pitching tonight, still kind of grinding through the outing. I don't think he put forth his best effort tonight as far as discipline. I think there was a 3-2 ball down in the zone. He could have taken the walk. And another time, I think he had count leverage and he grounded out. But I think in general, in the last few weeks, he's in a good spot.
Dave, you summoned number 22. Do you see some Kershaw traits in Ohtani on the mound?
Yeah, I do. He's I wouldn't say he's as animated as Clayton was, but he's intense in his way, and a certain expectation of excellence. Clayton certainly had that, and Shohei has that. Preparedness, and when it gets hot, stressful scoring position, they make pitches. That's similarity, but yeah, obviously with Clayton, it's hard to compare anyone with Clayton given how long he did it for.
When you watch Shohei, if you only could pick one or the other, what gets you more juiced up, watching what he does at the plate or on the mound? I would say I'd say probably when he's right pitching. I love watching that kind of alter ego compete on the mound. What's the feeling among the pitchers as a group watching Ohtani when he's doing his thing?
It's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life, to be honest with you. Like last week in his start, he hit a leadoff homer. He did it again today. He threw 6 no-hit innings and he gave up 1 run, but that it is what it is. That's baseball. But it's insanely fun and cool to just see what he's doing. And I'm just thrilled to be a part of this team and watch it every single day. So, yeah.
As a young pitcher, are you just really kind of super analyzing how he's approaching things on the mound?
I mean, he's one of a kind. He throws almost 6, 7 pitches. He can manipulate the baseball with the best of them. I have a different arsenal than he does, but watching what he does every day, I don't know how he does it. He throws 6 no-hit innings and then takes 4 or 5 ABs. He's running all over the place. It's super cool to watch.
いかがでしたか？この日の活躍も全米で大きな話題になっていました。名物司会者ダン・パトリック氏とその番組にゲスト出演した元メジャーリーガーのジョイ・ボット氏、そして FOX スポーツのベン・バーランダー氏の言葉をご覧ください。
Are we taking Ohtani for granted?
He hasn't even gotten hot. I know that he's had a really nice start to the pitching side of things, but offensively, I don't even sense that. And I was reading that he's still not satisfied, but I saw some stuff yesterday in his swings that tell me we really, and I don't like using hyperbole, I think I'm going to try to, in the course of my media career, to be as tame as possible, but I really think we might be in the middle of one of, if not the greatest season in the history of baseball. And I say that because, first of all, most of the all-time great seasons have asterisks / question marks. And the other few were before integration was even a part of the game. And so the extreme ends of greatness were mitigated because integration was a part of the game. And he's playing against the very, very best in the world now. So to me, I think we have a chance to see one of the great seasons of all time.
It feels like the Cy Young's really important to him. And I mean, he's got, I don't know if you say unfair advantage. He created the unfair advantage that he gets to hit and pitch at a very high level. He's going to win another MVP this year, right?
No, nothing's for sure. The starting pitcher for the Phillies, Sanchez, has had an excellent start. We typically don't give away the MVP to pitchers, but it's going to be 5 and 6 years if he wins it. It's going to be unanimous if he wins it. I really think we're talking about Tiger Woods in our lifetime, Michael Jordan in our lifetime. I think we're talking about one of the great athletes of the 21st century, and I don't know if it's because of the nature of baseball, in that you watch us every day and we don't wow you, and we ask you to kind of tune in on a daily basis and evaluate us at the end of 6 and 7 months. But at the very end of the season, Shohei is not only going to give you the goods, but he's also going to do it on both sides of the ball. And I don't think I don't know if we'll ever see this sort of greatness for a long, I don't know if we'll see it in our lifetime, unless, Sam Altman and Elon step in and extend our lives a couple hundred years. So we'll see.
I got you facing Ohtani once.
Yeah. Funny enough, that ended my career, essentially. And it was the day he got his second Tommy John. So it was like it was a bad moment for the both of us.
Wait, what happened?
Well, after maybe the third or fourth inning, blew out his arm for his second Tommy John. He left one of the most impressive, I'll tell a quick Shohei Ohtani story. One of the most impressive things I've ever seen on a baseball field. He got taken out in the third or fourth inning because he needed a second Tommy John. Before he came out of the game, he went up to bat and hit a ball 117 miles an hour into the right field stands for a home run against a left-handed pitcher, and then left and had surgery. I mean, who is this alien? And then me, I ended up popping out against him, and so yeah.
He's a big guy.
He's a big guy. He's a big 6'4", probably 240.
Yeah.
And he's as fast as anyone also. So he's got a lot of things going for him.
He's the only player to ever do what he's doing. And he's doing it at such an elite level that it's crazy. And I have been thrown. I started by saying, I think this guy has the potential to be the best player we've ever seen. To, this is the greatest athlete we have ever seen. To me now saying this is the greatest baseball player of all time. And a name that keeps popping up is Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth, two-way player, right? Babe Ruth was really only a full-time starting pitcher from 1915 to 1917. In that span, Babe Ruth had the 4th best ERA in Major League Baseball. He averaged about 4 strikeouts per game. He wasn't really hitting full-time during that span. 1918, his pitching started to ramp down, and then from there on for the rest of his career, his hitting started to ramp up. And by the next year, 1919, Babe Ruth was basically a full-time hitter. Did Babe Ruth do both? Well, yes. Did he do both at an elite level at the same time? Not really. There was never one single season where Babe Ruth qualified as both a hitter and a pitcher. Shohei Ohtani is the only player in history to ever accomplish that, and he did that in 2022. So I want to dive deeper into the GOAT conversation at some point. I say it all the time. I mean it, and I'm going to back it up. But what we are saying, and the point I wanted to make is I never want people to take for granted what we are seeing. We are going to look back when we are 110 years old, because modern science is going to allow us to live longer, maybe 120, maybe 130, who knows? We're going to look back and say, I got to watch that guy play baseball in his prime. I got to watch him come into baseball and finish his career. And we're going to look back on his career as the greatest of all time. There's no doubt in my mind. And I don't ever want people to take that for granted. And I'm certainly not going to do it. And it's why we do This Week in Shohei Ohtani News every single week here on Flippin' Bats. And it happens the day after he pitches. It comes out at 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific. And I believe that is 7 a.m. in Japan. I believe that's what it is. Another great week for Shohei Ohtani. A leadoff home run. Back-to-back weeks with him on the mound with a leadoff home run. More history, elite history, 1 of 1. This isn't a once-in-a-generation player. This isn't the best player of his generation. This isn't a once-in-a-lifetime player. Shohei Ohtani is a once-in-a-sport player. It's never been done. I don't think it's ever going to be done again. Not at this level, at least. Not his best stuff on the mound. He's got to figure out his command, and yet his ERA is still 0.83, and those are by his words. He's frustrated with his pitching, yet it has still been really, really dominant. He's unhittable. He is unhittable. Not a single hit given up to the Colorado Rockies. 6 no-hit innings and a leadoff bomb on the mound. And that is this week in Shohei Ohtani news.
指揮官の分析、若手投手の率直な尊敬、そして番組でのゴート論争。大谷選手は各方面から歴史的な存在として認められているのです。これが2026年シーズン前半戦、全米を最も震撼させたリアル二刀流、堂々の第1位でした。さて、いかがでしたか？今回は2026年シーズン前半戦、大谷選手のリアル二刀流が全米を熱狂させた試合をランキング形式で振り返ってきました。指揮官、対戦相手、若手投手、殿堂級のレジェンド、そしてテレビ番組のホストたち、立場も見ている角度も全く違う人たちでしたが、その全てが最終的に行き着く言葉は同じでした。こんな選手は見たことがない。彼はもう史上最高だ。称賛の仕方はユーモラスだったり、真剣だったり、時には対戦相手として悔しさをにじませるものだったりしましたが、その根底にあったのは大谷選手という存在への純粋な驚きと敬意でした。まだシーズンは半分。この先も大谷選手はきっと私たちの想像を超える瞬間を見せてくれることでしょう。最後までご視聴いただきありがとうございました。高評価、チャンネル登録をよろしくお願いいたします。それではまた次の動画でお会いしましょう。